The Young and the Restless spoilers Saturday's full episodes March 1, 2025 in the hazy aftermath of a dramatic kidnapping that left the town reeling. An unexpected transformation began to take place between two long-standing adversaries, Phyllis and Sharon. What initially seemed like an orchestrated act of terror was slowly revealing itself as a catalyst for healing old wounds and dissolving years of bitter animosity. In a twist that nobody could have foreseen, the very incident that brought them face to face with their mortality sparked a newfound intimacy between the two women, one that not only defied their past resentments but also hinted at a deeper, more profound connection. The unsettling question: a kidnapper's hidden agenda? As authorities pieced together the timeline of the harrowing event, whispers and speculations began to circulate. Could it be that the kidnapper's plan was not purely to instill fear, but rather to force an unlikely reconciliation? Observers noted that the captor, whose identity remains shrouded in mystery, did not appear to inflict any lasting physical harm. Instead, his actions seemed calculated, almost as if he had anticipated that the shared trauma might pave the way for something unexpected, unity where there had once been division. The possibility loomed large that his ultimate goal was to return Phyllis and Sharon safely to their lives, but with the added twist of having kindled a reconciliation that could rewrite the social fabric of their intertwined destinies. A journey from distrust to companionship in the days following their release, Phyllis and Sharon found themselves in an unprecedented situation. Forced into close quarters by circumstance, they began to share more than just a mutual experience of terror. They started to share their lives. Long nights turned into heartfelt conversations. As over shared meals and quiet moments, the two began to unpack the heavy baggage of misunderstandings and resentments that had defined their relationship for years. The transformation was gradual but profound. In intimate, hushed tones, they admitted long-hidden truths and confronted the whispers of betrayal that had haunted them. Each revelation became a brick in the foundation of a budding trust. Their newfound camaraderie began to dispel the relentless rumors that had plagued them in the media and within their own social circles. It became evident to both that the kidnapping, however horrifying, had inadvertently set the stage for them to rebuild their relationship on a more honest and compassionate footing. The corporate turmoil, Billy's unyielding priorities. While Phyllis and Sharon embarked on this path of reconciliation, the corporate world continued to churn with its own drama. Billy, a man whose priorities had always been sharply focused on his career and the bottom line, found himself embroiled in a personal and professional crisis. His fury was palpable when Phyllis abandoned her duties at the company, a move that he interpreted not as a reaction to trauma, but as an irresponsible abandonment of duty. In his eyes, the kidnapping was merely a side note to the far more pressing concern of ensuring that the company's work was not compromised. Billy's reaction was marked by a stark, unyielding pragmatism. His concern for Phyllis's well-being was minimal, overshadowed by the looming deadlines and the potential fallout from her abrupt departure. For Billy, the incident confirmed what many had suspected for some time: his priorities were tethered firmly to the realm of business, leaving little room for personal empathy. This perspective, while seemingly cold, found a kind of vindication in the words of Sally, a longtime observer of the inner workings of their world. Sally had been unequivocal in her belief that Billy's affection for Phyllis was as fleeting as his interest in anything that wasn't tied to the company's profit margins. In her eyes, his outburst was less about genuine concern for her safety and more about the disruption of his carefully ordered world of work. Brewing storms in personal relationships, the love triangle and jealousy amidst the corporate conflicts, and the unexpected reconciliation between Phyllis and Sharon, another drama was quietly unfolding. Summer and Kyle, whose camaraderie had recently taken on a more flirtatious tone, were becoming inseparable. Their constant companionship, once seen as a harmless friendship, began to draw the envious eyes of Claire. For Claire, the burgeoning closeness between Summer and Kyle was a stark reminder of her own vulnerabilities and a threat to the fragile balance of her romantic life. Claire's reaction was swift and intense. The sight of Summer and Kyle laughing together over coffee or walking side by side along the scenic park trails ignited a fierce jealousy within her, a jealousy that was as destructive as it was palpable. The tension escalated to the point where it seemed inevitable that a confrontation was looming. Claire's simmering resentment, fueled by feelings of inadequacy and betrayal, hinted at an impending showdown. It was clear that her internal struggle, which had been quietly festering, was about to erupt into a physical altercation, a showdown that promised to be as dramatic as it was personal. The confluence of personal trauma and professional ambition in this tangled web of personal and professional conflicts, every character was forced to confront the duality of their existence. Phyllis and Sharon's journey from animosity to affection was emblematic of a broader theme that seemed to pervade every corner of their lives: the possibility of transformation amidst chaos. The kidnapping incident, which at first glance appeared to be a random act of violence, had instead become a crucible for change, an event that shattered old paradigms and opened the door to new beginnings. For Phyllis, the ordeal was a turning point. Her decision to set aside past grudges and embrace the possibility of reconciliation was not merely an act of survival but a declaration of independence. It was an acknowledgement that life, in all its unpredictable twists and turns, offered moments of redemption if one was willing to take a chance on forgiveness. Sharon, too, found in the shared experience a mirror that reflected her own latent desires for connection and understanding. Together, they began to redefine what it meant to be allies rather than enemies, weaving a narrative of unity that was as unexpected as it was inspiring. Conversely, Billy's unwavering focus on the company underscored the stark differences in how individuals respond to crisis. His inability, or unwillingness, to see beyond the immediate disruption to his business operations painted a picture of a man who had sacrificed personal relationships at the altar of professional ambition. His dismissive attitude toward Phyllis's trauma not only isolated him further from those who sought comfort and connection but also highlighted a growing rift within the organization. The company, once a symbol of collective effort and shared purpose, was now a battleground for conflicting ideologies, one that pitted personal loyalty against corporate efficiency. A glimpse into the future, confrontations and reconciliations as the dust settled on the immediate chaos, the stage was set for even more dramatic developments. The possibility that the kidnappers' actions were part of a larger, more insidious plan lingered in the minds of those who had been closely watching the unfolding events. Was it possible that this calculated act of terror was meant to dismantle long-standing rivalries and force characters into new alliances? While no one could say for sure, the implications were profound. The lines between friend and foe had blurred, and every relationship was now tinged with an undercurrent of uncertainty and possibility. The anticipated showdown between Claire, Summer, and Kyle loomed as a dramatic punctuation to this evolving narrative. With emotions running high and alliances shifting like quicksand, the coming days promised explosive confrontations. It was almost as if the entire series of events, from the kidnapping to the corporate infighting, had been building toward a moment of reckoning where every suppressed emotion and unspoken word would finally come to the surface. The power of shared trauma and the fragility of human connections. In retrospect, the kidnapping was more than a mere plot twist. It was a mirror held up to the true nature of each character. It forced them to confront their deepest fears, their hidden desires, and the painful truths they had long tried to avoid. Phyllis and Sharon's journey toward reconciliation served as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, there is always the potential for light and redemption. Their evolving relationship also raised poignant questions about the nature of forgiveness and the possibility of change. Can an act as harrowing as kidnapping truly serve as a transformative experience? Or was it merely a temporary reprieve from the relentless pressures of their daily lives? As Phyllis and Sharon began to rebuild their connection, they inadvertently challenged the conventional narratives that had long defined them. They embraced vulnerability, finding strength in their shared experiences and discovering that sometimes, the most profound bonds are forged in the crucible of adversity. Conclusion. A new chapter unfolds as the narrative threads of personal trauma, professional ambition, and burgeoning romance wove together into a complex tapestry. The future of these characters remained uncertain yet tantalizingly full of promise. Phyllis and Sharon's unexpected alliance, born out of shared suffering, offered a glimmer of hope, a possibility that even the most bitter enemies could find common ground. Meanwhile, Billy's relentless drive to prioritize work over personal connection set the stage for a potential reckoning that could redefine his relationships once and for all. And then there was Claire, whose simmering jealousy threatened to explode into violence at any moment. Her struggle to come to terms with the evolving dynamics between Summer and Kyle was emblematic of the broader themes at play: the constant tension between desire and duty, love and ambition, vulnerability and strength. In this intricate dance of fate and free will, every character was poised on the brink of transformation. With each new day, the lines between right and wrong, friend and foe, continued to blur, challenging them to rethink their priorities and redefine their identities. The kidnapper's shadow might have been the initial spark, but it was the resilience, vulnerability, and unexpected bonds that emerged in its wake that would ultimately shape their destinies. As the narrative hurtles toward its next dramatic chapter, one thing remains clear. In a world where every act of violence can lead to an act of forgiveness, every betrayal can open the door to trust, and every separation can eventually pave the way for reconciliation. The true measure of a person is not defined by their darkest moments, but by the light they choose to embrace in the aftermath. In the midst of swirling chaos and intertwined destinies, a new chapter of hope and heartbreak was about to unfold. After a long period of secrecy and hidden glances, Adam and Chelsea finally received a promising signal. A confirmation that the universe was ready to embrace their love openly. The air was thick with anticipation as they prepared to step into the light, ready to announce to everyone that they were no longer just kindred spirits but an official couple. No longer would they hide behind whispered rumors or furtive smiles in crowded rooms. Their love was now a beacon of hope in a world that often seemed overshadowed by mystery and danger. A bold declaration of love. Adam, with his calm confidence and unwavering determination, had always been a pillar of strength amid life's many storms. Chelsea, whose warmth and resilience had captured his heart, was equally ready to embrace this new beginning. Together, they symbolized a defiant stand against the cynicism that had long plagued their social circles. In a series of beautifully orchestrated moments, the couple planned a public revelation that promised to be as dramatic as it was heartfelt. Their announcement was not just about personal happiness, it was a declaration that love, in all its unpredictable glory, could triumph over adversity. The excitement was palpable. Friends and onlookers began to speculate about the future, charmed by the genuine connection between Adam and Chelsea. For them, the world was no longer a place of hidden agendas and silent suffering. It was a realm of endless possibilities where vulnerability was met with support, and every embrace held the promise of a new dawn. The couple's newfound freedom ignited conversations far and wide, inspiring others to break free from their own chains of secrecy and fear. The bitter taste of jealousy yet, as the couple reveled in their moment of triumph, not everyone was prepared to celebrate their joy. Sally, whose life had long been entwined with the drama of unfulfilled desires and quiet resentments, found herself overwhelmed by a familiar and painful emotion: jealousy. The revelation of Adam's new happiness cut deeply into her own world, a stark reminder of what she had lost and what she yearned for but could never fully attain. Sally's heart, stubborn and bruised by past disappointments, could not immediately accept the reality of Adam and Chelsea's relationship. In her eyes, the couple's radiant happiness only highlighted the shadows of her own unresolved pain. Despite the bitterness that welled within her, a part of Sally understood that change was inevitable. While envy initially clouded her judgment, deep down she knew that clinging to old grievances would only leave her isolated in her sorrow. In a poignant inner struggle, Sally was forced to confront the uncomfortable truth: if Adam could find happiness in love, perhaps she too had the opportunity to open her heart to new beginnings. However, the journey from envy to acceptance was not one that could be rushed. It required time, introspection, and a willingness to let go of the past. Her path toward reconciliation with her own emotions was as unpredictable as the twists and turns of a well-written drama. A dangerous pursuit of truth. Meanwhile, in a subplot that further thickened the plot's complexity, Victor and Michael had embarked on a perilous quest to uncover the truth behind a mysterious kidnapping that had been plaguing their lives. Unlike the romantic and personal revelations unfolding in other corners of their world, the investigation was shrouded in darkness and danger. The kidnapper, an enigmatic figure with a penchant for unpredictability, had been terrorizing their community, and it soon became clear that no one was safe from his relentless torment. Victor, ever the seasoned strategist with a keen eye for detail, joined forces with Michael, whose resourcefulness and determination made him an indispensable ally. Their investigation was not merely an academic pursuit of facts. It was a race against time, fraught with tension and the constant threat of becoming victims themselves. Each lead they pursued, every clue they uncovered, only deepened the mystery. The kidnapper's modus operandi was as erratic as it was chilling, leaving behind a trail of unanswered questions and shattered lives. The duo's nights were often spent poring over cryptic messages and piecing together disparate bits of evidence. Their shared mission forged a bond between them, as they navigated the treacherous landscape of hidden motives and dangerous liaisons. With every step closer to the truth, the stakes grew higher. The haunting possibility that they could be the next targets loomed over them like a dark cloud, intensifying the urgency of their pursuit. In the silent moments of the night, when the world around them fell into uneasy slumber, Victor and Michael would exchange wary glances, silently acknowledging that their investigation was as much a battle of wits as it was a fight for survival. The interplay of love, ambition, and peril as Adam and Chelsea basked in the glow of their newly declared love, and Sally grappled with the turbulent emotions of envy and loss, Victor and Michael delved deeper into the labyrinth of a sinister plot. The contrasting narratives unfolded in parallel, weaving a rich tapestry of human emotion and the ever-present struggle between light and darkness. Adam's journey was emblematic of the transformative power of love. His decision to go public was not merely a personal milestone, it was a bold act of defiance against a society that often demanded conformity and secrecy. In embracing his vulnerability, Adam offered a powerful message, that true strength lay in the courage to live one's truth, regardless of the consequences. Chelsea's unwavering support added depth to their shared narrative, turning what could have been a simple romantic announcement into a rallying cry for authenticity and self-acceptance. Sally's internal battle, on the other hand, represented the often overlooked struggles that accompany personal growth. Her jealousy was a mirror reflecting the scars of past betrayals and unfulfilled dreams. Yet, it also held the promise of transformation. If she could learn to accept and even celebrate the happiness of others, perhaps she too could open herself up to new experiences and the possibility of healing. The road to self-acceptance, however, was fraught with setbacks and moments of despair, mirroring the turbulent currents that defined the lives of all those caught in this intricate drama. In the midst of these personal upheavals, the investigation led by Victor and Michael added a layer of suspense and danger that was impossible to ignore. Their relentless pursuit of the truth was a testament to the indomitable human spirit, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the quest for justice and understanding could not be silenced. Each cryptic message, every new piece of evidence, was a stepping stone toward unraveling a mystery that had cast a long shadow over their community. The duo's bravery and determination became a beacon of hope in a world where darkness threatened to engulf everything in its path. Convergence and the promise of new beginnings. As these parallel storylines converged, the audience found themselves at the intersection of hope and despair, love and loss, vulnerability and strength. Adam and Chelsea's love story offered a glimpse into a future where personal happiness triumphed over societal expectations. Their public declaration was more than just a romantic milestone, it was a call to all who had ever hidden their true selves behind a mask of conformity. In a moment of triumphant revelation, they challenged the status quo and inspired others to embrace their own identities with courage and pride. Sally's journey, though laden with emotional turmoil, hinted at the possibility of redemption. Her struggle was a poignant reminder that every heart, no matter how wounded, could find solace in the light of acceptance. The painful lessons of envy and loss, when faced with compassion and understanding, had the potential to blossom into a powerful narrative of personal growth. Meanwhile, the shadowy threat of the kidnapper loomed over Victor and Michael's investigation, injecting an element of urgency and danger that kept everyone on edge. Their discovery of unsettling clues and the constant risk of becoming the next victims created a palpable tension, a reminder that in the world they inhabited, danger was never far away.